Mr. Brenton Hilaire, welcome to Untapped Potential. How are you?
I am doing good. And how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Brenton Hilaire, Agency Manager of Sagico Life in Dominica. I'm also the Senior Vice President of the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce. I'm a certified John C. Maxwell coach, teacher, trainer, speaker. I'm a Rotarian, I am a Toastmaster, and I'm other things.
Wow,
I,
sounds like your whole life is consumed by what you do.
to an extent, I mean, I'm part of the organizations, but I sort of control the amount of time I dedicate. Because I think right now it's really about understanding what brings the most value towards what you're working for. So it's always a constant battle of where should I be giving attention to right now versus where can I put on the back burner for a while. But yeah, I try my best to get involved in things that can actually help me progressing in life.
Yeah, certainly. Now tell us a little bit about where you're from in Dominica and your upbringing.
I am from Roseau, so they would say Jarozo back in the day.
Yes, Jarozo, me too.
So from the heart of Roseau. My family though comes from the south of Dominica, Piditaman. But then I raised up in the city, Roseau, then I moved across to Castle Comfort. And right now I'm back in Roseau.
Yes,
Right
yes.
away.
Yes, certainly. So tell us about your journey in terms of climbing the ladder of success in Dominica.
Wow, that has been a long time in making. And it wasn't an overnight success. And oftentimes we look at persons' position of where they are and not realize what they had to do to get where they are. So it really started years and years ago. I believe it began with my mother, I must say that, because she always implanted in myself and my siblings that you should never accept any negative talk on your life. For example, you know, boys will be boys, and sometimes we say harsh things to each other as a quote unquote joke. And even if it came off or it was meant to be a joke, she will always tell us, no, don't say that. And I didn't realize the power of that until I started getting more mature. So from small, she always planted this positivity into my life. And I went through high school, went through college, and the journey to me really started from after having left college. When I left college, looking for a job, I recall that the first job I got, I was actually excited because I'm a young guy. Your first job, you're going to make something out of yourself. Life is just beginning. The road is looking clear. And I went to the institution, well dressed up, long sleeve tie, pants. And when I went there, they sent me into a storeroom. So I'm thinking to myself, a storeroom?
A storeroom?
So I went to the storeroom and then I was shown a rack of different items that I had to clean. So my job was to take a rag, wipe down the items, put it back on the rack. My first job was of college.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think my story is unique. I think a lot of young people go through that experience, and it could have been a situation where I was quote unquote defeated. I could have maybe said, okay, this is life, this is what I have to accept and work towards. But going back to what my mother always put in us, never accept any negative situation. And I told myself I was not going to end there. That was not it for me. So I still had the mentality that I am going to be something, I am going to be someone. And what I would do, I tell that to some people, every day I would still go to work. No, I did not quit my job. I did not duck my job. I still gave my job what's due to them, which is the 8 hours, but it's how I did it. So every morning I would dress up well, nice, long sleeves, tie, dress pants every single day. Go into work, take it off, do my job. Before I leave, dress back up, go outside again.
Wait, hold on, you're going too fast. So let me get this correct, Brenton, if I'm hearing you correctly. So you would dress for success, you would get to your job, and mind you, we're not saying there's anything wrong with working in a storeroom. That's an honorable job. But after having completed college, right, you realize that the job was not what you expected, but instead of feeling defeated and saying, well, it's just a storage room job, I'm just going to wear my t-shirt and jeans every day, you would leave home, dress for business, get to work, change, and then when you're ready to go home, you would dress again in your business wear?
Yes.
Fascinating.
So
Fascinating.
no one knew the kind of job I had. All they knew was I was gainfully employed.
Yes.
So I've had a mindset from since that time, regardless of the situation, I am going to put up, I am going to do what I have to do while I work on where I want to go.
And then where did you go from there?
So from there, I moved on to actually getting a job from the Fortune Hotel in the accounts department. So I was already in the habit of dressing up
Yes.
as practice. And that's
Wow.
a key thing to success. Habit is important. Because if I had started with the mentality of what you just said, jeans, t-shirt, having to transition from that environment into the office environment, it would have been difficult. But the fact is, I had already had it in my mind and in my actions that this is what I'm going to do on a regular basis. So transition into working at Fortune was seamless.
Yeah.
And sometimes we take those things for granted where we may get some advice, but we feel the advice is not applicable now, so we don't do it. But we really need to start looking at things for the long term. So it's not applicable now, but will I be able to benefit from those practices in the future? And I always believe that when we work, we need to work with the end in mind. It's not where we are now, but it's where we want to go. So went to Fortune, I spent about 6 years there. Then I transitioned into the administrative team of Sagico. Then I transitioned from that team into where I am right now, leading the sales team. So
Wow.
it
So
has
I
been a
think,
journey.
yeah, I think that speaks so very well, Brenton, on so many levels. The importance of dressing for success, because
Yes,
I think too many of us are relaxed. Too many
correct.
of us think, well, this is what I'm doing, so this is what I'm going to wear. So you speak so very well of the importance of dressing for success and presenting yourself in a manner that almost draws success to you.
Correct.
Wow, that
It's
is
the,
certainly impressive.
they call it the spirit of expectation.
Yes.
You dress like you are going to be someone, and one day you will be someone. But if you dress defeated all the time, you're going to have that mindset in you of just being always defeated.
Yeah, that's a very important lesson. That is a very important lesson. So thank you for sharing that with us. Now, I want to talk about the other areas that you focus on, but I know from reading your information that one of the areas that you struggled with earlier on is confidence. Can you speak on that?
Yes, confidence while you are growing can actually derail your career. And actually discover that I'm still dealing with it. I'm not going to lie, because I would say I sort of grew at a quick rate. I became an assistant manager at the age of 28. Then I became a manager at the age of 30. And the fact is, you know, we grew, from my particular time, growing up in an environment where my colleagues, that is, or the managers, are in their 40s, some in their 50s, and here I am coming into the business at the age of 30. So you find yourself sometimes asking the question, is what I'm saying actually valuable? Am I making good contributions towards the team?
Or if I might interject as well, or if you should even speak up, because I've had those issues too. You're just wondering to yourself, you're in an important meeting, everyone is older than you, and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe I shouldn't even say that, maybe I'll sound silly. And then
Yeah,
somebody else says it, and you feel like an idiot for not
that
saying
is
it.
correct. And I recall once I was speaking to someone and I told them, okay, I'm 30 years old and I'm a manager. And the guy was like, you're a manager at 30? What? And the way it made me feel was like, I shouldn't be a manager at that
Oh my
age.
God. I thought you were going to say it made you feel proud. Right.
No,
That
but that's what
confidence
the
again.
confidence issue.
Yes.
So I started asking myself questions. Wow, is that guy right? Or did he have no place to make such a statement? And you know, the doubt creeps in, and that's where your sometimes performance can get affected if you don't take hold of it as soon as possible. Because prior to hearing something like that, you would have been confident in your own capacity, doing your best, but then hearing that, you'll be more focused on maybe the negative and you don't want to get it wrong. And I recall that there's a speaker who said, when you think about things in the wrong way, it can actually affect how you deliver. For example, he's a former NFL player, and he said in training, they will tell themselves, don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball. The image that was being formed in the head is drop the ball, because that was the repetition.
The words.
Exactly. So they had to transition that into saying, catch the ball, catch the ball, catch the ball. So that's where the confidence thing comes into play, where you're trying to avoid mistakes. So you're saying, don't make a mistake, don't mess up. But as you repeat that, mess up, mess up. So you will mess up. So it's, I believe, a really tough game for us young persons growing up in an environment where typically managers were more senior. And how I was able to overcome that is reading. You have to read. You don't necessarily have to read long books, but look for any sort of document that can assist with your thought process, assist with your confidence in your position, help you to learn more than others, help you to learn quicker than others, because the fact is you have more to prove. When you're in a position, people are going to put you under scrutiny to see whether or not you are mature enough for the position, so you have to make the effort. So I read a lot.
And can you tell us some of what you read?
Well, I read practically everything. If you follow my social media handles, every now and then you'll see me sharing some different content, whether it's about being a better entrepreneur, social media marketing, marketing on a whole, how to present. So I really focused on content that could help me become a better manager or a better leader. And that's one of the reasons why I joined Toastmasters, because I realized that I was at a disadvantage being so young. So I needed to find some program to help me develop my public speaking skills, my leadership skills, and Toastmasters helped me with that. So like I said earlier, it was all in alignment of where I wanted to go.
Yes, so and I'm happy you brought up Toastmasters, because I think that is such an important organization. And before I looked at your profile, I had never heard of them. Before I started, before we connected on Facebook, and I looked at what you were into, I had never heard of Toastmasters. Is that a relatively new organization in Dominica?
No, it's not.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
over 80 years. It's sometimes called the best kept secret.
Yes, well, I'm sorry, we're sharing it today.
Yeah.
Because it's so important. So tell us what Toastmasters is.
It's, I would say, a program developed specifically to the individual. It's not a social club about helping others and, you know, doing good corporate service to society, but it's really about equipping its members to become able to communicate their thoughts, their ideas, and become better leaders. So this conversation that we're having here today would not have been possible if it wasn't for Toastmasters. I used to be very shy. I'm still shy, but I used to be extremely shy, could not speak, could not do interviews. And I knew for a fact that if I'm going to become a manager, those were skills that I had to have. So that helped me with the transition into where I am today. And I grew through the process. I was able to be exposed to how to organize meetings, because in the organization, you have the executive committee, which has to do all the planning and structuring and whatnot. So I joined the committee to get that experience in terms of how does an organization run. So I know about the protocols to start a meeting, to run a meeting, to end a meeting. All of those skills were necessary. I would also want to mention the need for a mentor. When you want to build your confidence, sometimes, or not sometimes, actually all times, you need to have a mentor. That is someone who has been there, done it, who can guide you along the way. And that has also assisted greatly to where I am today. Because with my youth in the business, I had to play catch up. And I had people in the business that I could call anytime, throw ideas at them, ask them questions, and I was very receptive. And I think sometimes we, the youth, take that for granted. I hear comments off and on where people say, oh, that senior person likes to talk. And that is a treasure.
Yes, it
See,
is.
if we have to actually take the time to sit down and listen to these stories, there's so much that we can learn from it that actually gives us a shortcut in life. Rather than having to make the same mistakes they made and go through all that time to be successful,
Mhm.
you take the knowledge, the information, and then you learn so that you can become more successful in a shorter space of time. And
Mhm.
that has helped me greatly. So it has saved me a lot of time in my journey towards success.
Mhm. So it sounds like you're someone who plans very well. You keep your eye on where you would like to be, and you figure out what resources will get me to where I want to be. Would you agree with that?
Yes, always start at the end in mind.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more about Toastmasters because I think that is such an important organization in Dominica. So is it something where you pay a monthly membership, or how do you get into a program such as this?
Yeah, so you basically visit any club in your area.
Mhm.
You can visit for free, listen to the program, see if it's really for you. There are some territories with more than one club. So you get a chance to go through the different clubs, see what the culture is like, because every club has a different feeling. And what you feel that it fits right with your spirit, you request membership, you pay a one-time fee, and then after that, the contribution is every 6 months. So
Yeah, yes. Go ahead.
there are two distinct tracks to it. There is the leadership and the public speaking track. So in
Yeah.
my time, I focused heavily on the leadership aspect because I always foresee, or I always wanted to be in where I am today, in some sort of managerial role. So
Mhm.
I focused on that, then I built on my public speaking skills and married the two after, and I'm here today.
Yeah, I can see the confidence in you. And things like confidence is never things that leave us completely. It's
Yeah,
always going to be a part of us. So I
correct.
don't want people to feel like, I should have overcome my issues with confidence because I'm 40 something at this point and I shouldn't be still having those are just things that you deal with on a continuous basis because the thoughts are always in your mind. But I especially like that example that you shared with us where you change the thoughts from any negative words because I don't think people realize that simply having the negative words in your mind, even if you're attempting to frame them in a positive way, like don't drop the ball, don't drop the ball, what your brain is actually hearing is what you said. You're correct. Drop
Yeah,
the ball.
that is correct.
So you have to change those words. That was so powerful, Brenton. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So change the words from don't drop the ball to catch the ball because
Yeah,
catch is a positive word. Fascinating, brilliant.
yeah.
Yes,
It
thank you
seems
for
simple,
sharing that. Yes, yes.
but it's,
And
it's
I certainly would encourage anyone who can to join Toastmasters because I've seen some of the speeches, the public speaking that they present on their Facebook page, and you can just see the confidence in the presenters, the way they're able to command the crowd, the way they're able to present their information. So I think it's a resource worth investing in.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So tell us how else you've invested in yourself to be the person you are today.
Always say yes to an opportunity. That's another thing that we have to look at. There is a quote that goes, it's better to be prepared for the opportunity and it's not there than to have the opportunity and not be prepared.
Hmm.
So I joined Toastmasters knowing that sometime in the future I would have been in some sort of managerial role. I did not know that the role was coming, but I just wanted to make sure that when it came, I was ready. And that
Hmm.
goes back to the positive thinking that I had the spirit of expectation that it was going to manifest itself. I do not know how. The how is for God. I just focused on what. Um, how I actually came here, I recall making a presentation in front of my senior vice presidents and other senior managers. And I was able to speak so clearly and communicate my ideas. I believe that's what really sold me as being a good candidate for this career. But I could not have accomplished that if I did not go to Toastmasters before. I might have gone up there and stutter and hit my words and just walk up the stage, but I was able to deliver. Now, what I say, taking every opportunity is, I realize a lot of us, that's people in general, are afraid of failing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have the opportunity right in front of us, but it's because of that fear and going back to the confidence issue, we don't go for it. My first public speaking engagement was at a graduation ceremony. And what happened was that I was called, I was told that they had a first candidate and the person turned down. And they called me as, sort of maybe the backup or last resort to speak. I was a few days before.
Mm-hmm.
The typical person would have said, what, only 2 or 3 days? No, I cannot do that. I thought to myself, this is my opportunity. And I just said yes. And I figured out the rest after. And then since that opportunity, every year after, I have been speaking at some event.
Wow.
If I was afraid of that first time just because I had a short space of time, I would have missed out on the opportunity. So we have to find ways to build up the confidence so that when these opportunities come, we actually grab them.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have to constantly develop ourselves so that when they do arrive, that we are not afraid to take it on. So I tell people I'm always available. You call me now and tell me to speak in an hour, I'm ready for you. That's just
And I'm the same way too, because just recently I did Facebook moderation for Movements of Mothers, which is the social activism arm of the Alternative People's Party. And you won't believe, I got the call 2 days before the event. And like you, I was so tempted to say, what? You're calling me today? And you're calling me today? Today's Friday and the event is Sunday? No, I can't do that. But I have learned to not say no.
correct.
If it means I'm going to stay up till 12 o'clock on Saturday nights to prepare, I am going to say yes, because what happens is those opportunities lead to other opportunities.
That is right.
Yeah, so the idea is if you don't say no, and I always think to myself that preparation plus opportunity equals success.
Yes.
But I think what happens is people try to prepare, folks try to prepare, and then they're like, well, no, opportunities are not coming, the opportunities are not coming, and then they get discouraged. But it only takes one opportunity, and you became a speaker of different events every year after that.
Yeah. It starts with just one. And I mean, God has different plans for us. So we shouldn't question whether or not it's going to come. Once we have faith and we believe, it will come. We just have to continue on building up ourselves for it.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Brenton. And again, if you're just joining us, we're speaking to Mr. Brenton Hilaire out of Dominica, and he's the agency manager at Sagico Insurance, Sagico Life, and he's telling us all about the importance of investing in ourselves so that when preparation meets opportunity, we will be successful. Now tell me, Brenton, because I think a lot of this is lost on the youth in not just Dominica, but in many areas of the world. So are there opportunities to relay the sort of information that you're sharing with us with young people?
Yes, there are. I believe we, the quote unquote successful one, and I say quote unquote because I mean, to me, success is temporary. I'm successful today, tomorrow anything could happen. But for those of us who are perceived as being successful, I believe we have a part to play in trying to help others move on. And that's one of the reasons why I joined the John C. Maxwell program, because I enjoy encouraging persons, motivating persons, helping persons to find the path onto where they want to go. And I realized that his program was similar to that, and it provided me with an avenue to do so. So I've actually started doing some sort of executive coaching with individuals upon request, just to try and assist them on their journey to overcoming their challenges or being successful. I also believe that we have to lead by example. So I cannot come and speak to you about dressing for success and I'm not looking like it. Like I tell my team, I'm wearing a waistcoat, and once people see me in a waistcoat, they think I'm crazy.
No, you mean business.
I know what I'm trying to portray, and that is what I'm working towards. So if we're going to give people that sort of advice, we have to be able to show them that we're living it as well. And if you go on my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Instagram, whichever one, you're going to find positive messages every single day.
Yes,
And
I
it's Monday
see
to
them and I
Friday,
appreciate them.
because I speak about positivity and positive mindset. So that's my way of trying to help others to have that mindset. Oh, and funny enough, people have actually been coming to me and saying, boy, thank you. And sometimes that message, I needed to hear that today. So it makes me feel like I am playing my part in helping persons to stay positive, regardless
Yeah,
of what the situation is.
yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is that you're putting the message out there for the audience, but it's also a message for you.
Of course. You know, the first person I motivate every day is myself. My mission is to motivate myself every single day, because motivation does not last. Right now, we have to be maybe 2 to 3 times a day, because our body naturally gets rid of the, the bad minerals, the dirt, and so we get an odor, and we have to be able to stay fresh. That's the same as motivation, because I can motivate myself this morning, and then from this morning to lunchtime, something could have happened to erode that motivation. So if I don't refuel my system, I'm going to be down.
Mhm.
And I think we take that for granted. We figure I got motivated in January, so I'm fine for the year. It doesn't work like that.
Yes, and that is a secret to success, Brenton. I have to tell you, that is a powerful secret to success, because many times folks look at successful people and they think it's just part of their DNA, right? They don't realize that you're waking up every day and you have to replenish. It's like food. You eat food,
Yes,
a couple of hours later, you're gonna be hungry again. You have
that's
to
right.
feed again. So in the same way, you have to feed your emotions, you have to feed your thoughts, you have to have those constant affirmations. It's a day-to-day process. And if you're not willing to do that, well, I'm sorry, but you're going to be stuck where you shouldn't be. You're not gonna be able to move your life forward, because the negative thoughts are going to sit back in. You're not good enough, you're not confident enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not tall enough, and those thoughts weigh you down.
That
So
is
I
correct.
want us to think of it as replenishing. The same way we replenish our bodies with food, we replenish our minds with positive affirmations. So you speak so well on that.
Yes, that's important.
Hmm.
Kind of
It,
underscore
yeah, it feels like you should have been in my field, psychology.
that. Oh, just
Yes,
enjoy motivation, the whole topic of it, and try to
yes,
pass it on to others.
yes. And it doesn't matter what field you're in, we're all human.
Correct.
That's what it boils down to. Now, Brenton, you're involved in so many different organizations and you stay so busy. But what about work-life balance so you don't burn out?
Well, I believe the reason why I don't burn out is I don't feel like I'm working. And the reason I say that, we nobody say that if you enjoy what you do, then you have never worked in your life.
Mhm.
So I love what I do so much that when I actually put the effort into it, it doesn't really put me to the extent where I am, quote unquote, burnt out or dead or feel like I cannot go anymore. So loving what I do and actually seeing the results in what I do motivates me in itself. Every time I accomplish something that is in alignment of what I'm enjoying, that is like drinking coffee by itself. It motivates me, it keeps me going. So it helps me. But I mean, I'm a human being, my body needs rest, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I don't know why we have to sleep, because the number of things we could be doing during those hours, I mean, it's unfortunate, but the
It
body
is
needs rest.
unfortunate.
Body needs rest. So I try to get between 4 to 6 hours of sleep a day.
Mhm.
And definitely for the lifestyle I live, I know it might not be perceived as the most healthy one. So I make sure that I take my supplements. And I tell persons, once you have that sort of lifestyle, you must take supplements, because if your body is not resting enough, it's not going to be generating the essentials that it needs to carry on. And the things that I take for sure, you have the ginkgo biloba, that is for the brain function, vitamin B for the additional energy, natural additional energy, vitamin C for your immune system, and then ginseng for stress management. When your body is tired, you get triggered easily. And I heard it from someone, and I saw it in a book also when I was reading. Like I said, I read all sorts of things that, help me be better prepared for what I do. And it mentioned the fact that ginseng manages or helps you to manage stress. And I was doubtful at first. I mean, really? How can something help you to manage stress? So I decided to try it out, and I actually saw results. So much so, right now, if my supply runs out and I don't have, I find myself getting agitated a bit quickly, and I said, I need to get my supply back. So there are some essential supplements that I believe when you have that sort of active lifestyle and you're not sleeping enough, you need to incorporate into your daily life in order to help with the balance.
So you're doing such a wonderful job, Brenton, of telling us the importance of investing in ourselves in so many ways. So thank you so much for sharing on that. Now tell us about some of the other organizations that you're a part of and what are the benefits, because I think for a lot of the young people in our society, they're looking for direction. So if you can share on some of the other organizations that you're involved with, maybe it might spark something in them and say, well, this is probably what I need to be a part of to get this benefit. And it's not just for young people, it's for anyone who wants to find a better way to live, a more productive life.
So we spoke about Toastmasters. So I'll just give a summary of Toastmasters. If you want to become a better public speaker, if you want to become a better leader, you need to join Toastmasters, especially if you plan on rising up the ladder. It will equip you with the skills necessary. Now, Rotary, why did I join Rotary? It's all in the effort to give back. I mean, Rotary is, the corporate social responsibility for myself. I had to find a way to assist others, whether it be communities, whether it be schools, through the avenue of Rotary. And what makes it good to do it like that is if I decided to try and do it on my own, I mean, I have limits to my pockets, so there's only so much I can do. But when you have an organization with a collective, group of individuals who are aiming towards a particular project, the combination of the resources has much more of an impact than trying to do it on your own. So I saw Rotary as the avenue to sort of give back, but give back with assistance of others. And I believe there are several options out there. We have Kiwanis, there is the Lions Club, Leo's Club. So it's really about finding out which of those clubs are in tune with what your personal beliefs are or what your vision is. And if you notice, I see that a lot. You always have to make sure that things are in alignment with your goals. You have to plan ahead of where you want to be and chart the path of how to get there. So I actually looked at different clubs, and I felt for myself and for my vision that Rotary was where I really wanted to be. And in Rotary, you have a lot of, I would say, prominent business people. So it's a good area to go to if you want to develop that sort of network. The other clubs might focus more on the corporate social responsibility and do more activities, and maybe that's what you love or you have a passion for. You look at those. So it's really about assessing what it is you want to accomplish and finding the right avenue. Then the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce, I joined that because I want to see Dominica in a better place. I mean, Rotary is the giving back aspect. I see DAIC as the building up aspect of Dominica because what we do has a direct impact on the performance of the private sector. And being a business person myself, I mean, naturally speaking, I'm in a sales function. Sales is about bringing in revenue. You have to ask yourself, how can I get additional revenue from a company? And I like to look at things in the long term. So, I mean, within my own organic company, I can think about what strategies we're going to do to try and get more business. But then when I thought about it from a long-term aspect, if I'm able to be in a position to help build up the economy of Dominica, then naturally speaking, it's going to be easier to bring revenue to my organization. And I saw DIC being able to provide that opportunity for me. to help to build up an economy so that it could benefit not just my company, but also other companies in our sector, and it will put Dominica in a better place. So I would say every organization that I've joined had a strategic objective to
Absolutely.
why I joined those organizations.
Absolutely, and good for you. And I'm so proud of the work that the DAIC is doing. Recently, we had the new president on our program, Mr. Stephen Lander, and it's so nice to see that the work that they're doing, but it's also nice to see how they're embracing the youth. Because I think many times organizations, they don't see the value in younger people, newer thoughts, newer approaches. Many times we're stuck in what has worked in the past, and that's what we're going to do because this is what the organization is about. But it's so nice to see them embracing younger people and making sure that their thoughts are incorporated in what they're doing. And I also have to speak very highly of the Rotary Club as well, because I was a recipient of a high school scholarship from the Rotary way back when. We won't say exactly when, but way back when, you know, I was an underprivileged child, and to go to high school, they funded my high school education. So I speak very highly of the Rotary Club as well.
That's excellent.
Yes, yes. So good for you for finding the agencies and the organizations that work to your benefit. So thank you for being with us today. Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
I would like to encourage everybody who is listening to this call, do not feel like there is no hope. Don't feel like there isn't a chance for you to rise above whatever it is your situation is. Always be strategic about how you use your time. Don't do things just for doing its sake.
Yes.
Always ask yourself, at the end of me contributing my time to this, how is it going to contribute towards my goals? And I mean, it might sound selfish, but then if you can find the harmony between your goals and the organization's objectives, then it's a win-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
So be prepared, practice, see where you want to go, develop the skills and the habits that you need before reaching that point so that when the opportunity arises, you are ready to go. And success can be yours, but also don't forget, you cannot do this on your own. Get help. Speak to someone who has been there. Don't be afraid or ashamed to let them know of your weaknesses or your challenges. Open up, and it's going to save you time. I know everyone, especially young people, I know you want to be successful as fast as possible, and that is the best kept secret. Speak to people who have been there.
Yes, valuable information, Brenton. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think the most important thing you said is you cannot do this alone. Because I don't think many times we realize the importance of networking. Because if you realize a lot of the organizations that you join, they provided an opportunity for you to network, maybe with other people in your field, in other high-stake executives that you could network to, and thereby bring opportunities to your company. So again, you cannot do this by yourself. It's about investing in you and also reaching out to others. Very beautifully said. Thank you so much, Brenton.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so by way of contact, if we wanted to reach you for Sagico or just in general, how might we get in touch with you?
Okay, you can call me on my number, area code 767-615-7914. I am on Facebook, Brenton Hilaire. I am on Instagram, Brenton Hilaire DM. I am on Twitter, Brenton Hilaire. I'm on LinkedIn, Brenton Hilaire. So
yes, as you can
consistent.
As you can tell, Brendan is a man with a strategy. Okay, so he has dominated all of social media because he has a plan and he has a strategy, and there's nothing wrong with that because you know what your end goal is.
Correct.
Yes, good for you. So thank you for being with us again. If you tuned in late, we're speaking with Mr. Brenton Hilaire, Agency Manager at Sagico Life, and he's shared a wealth of information with us. So we're truly thankful that he came on to the program, Untapped Potential, and shared with us today. So Brenton, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank you. Take care.